So you are the Red Dwarf expert. I'm only up to season 7.
And you're good, you could quit there.
Oh, I was trying to binge it, but we got life because we're all so busy with social distancing.
We're so busy social distancing right now. We've got time to binge TV shows.
So what is it about Red Dwarf?
Well, what? Here, let me ask you this: what is it about Red Dwarf? Last week when we did Babylon, I had that Darmok his eyes opened moment where I was like, "Oh my god, I get it! This is a great show." You have been binging. Have you had that moment for Red Dwarf?
It's funny because I've watched it on and off over the years, and I remember when it was, I guess, popular back in the 90s and stuff, and I think I watched it, and I didn't really get what I didn't really find it that funny, but that's kind of common with a lot of British comedy. It's like, some of it does not translate to American humor. It's you have to kind of put yourself into that mindset. I mean, I'm a Monty Python fan, but not everything that Monty Python did was hysterical. So the first episode, I'm like, well, this is pretty slapstick, and I wasn't really laughing. But like I think I told you, the way I equate Red Dwarf is like as if you try smoking for the first time, and you're like, why does anybody continue to do this? It's horrible. Your lungs, but then you keep doing it and you become kind of addicted to it. There's definitely, I think as the seasons went on, they improved, obviously. I mean, not only in the quality of the show as far as
the quality went way up,
but the humor improved. It was still pretty slapstick, but there was a few laugh out loud moments that definitely were. Even this last episode I was just watching, I had a couple where it was just stupid, but it's funny.
Yeah, it's stupid, but it's funny. Yeah. So Red Dwarf has got that kind of British irreverence, which, I mean, let's face it, that's our favorite kind of irreverence. It's British irreverence, and it's got some clever wordplay, but then it kind of veers off into like inane, kind of lowbrow, sometimes physical slapstick kind of stuff, and you just kind of go along for a ride. Because let's face it, we do not watch Red Dwarf for science fiction. Like, we're not getting heavy duty sci-fi ideas out of it, right?
Yeah.
We're watching it for the comedy.
Well, I've heard it described. It's a sitcom first before it's anything else. So
very much so.
Sci-fi. Yeah. If that's what you're watching, it's just a sitcom that takes place on a spaceship. Now, I had read originally that they originally it was just going to be that crew with no one else. Like, they were never going to meet any aliens, and they were never going to meet monsters. And, and I'm like, I don't even know where they were thinking with that. I'm like, well, where are you going to go with this show without something other than those 4 guys,
Yeah, I mean, and Rob Grant and Doug Naylor were really clever. You're absolutely right. So I'll talk about the writing a little bit. They were super clever about it. Their background, they did some British stuff, which I don't think most Americans know, like Comic Relief and 10%ers, but their background was Spitting Image. Do you remember Spitting Image? The puppets? No. Spitting. Okay.
Somebody help me out here. Spitting Image.
Spitting Image was a super clever puppet satire. Like, they had a Ronald Reagan and a Nancy Reagan puppet, and they.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yes.
And so Chris Berry, the guy that plays Rimmer, is a brilliant mimic. Like, he can do all these impersonations. So most of the time when you heard the Ronald Reagan puppet talking, most of the time that was Chris Berry.
Really?
That was Rimmer. Yeah. He's good. He can do all kinds of stuff. But
we forgot to do the cocktail.
Oh, do the cocktail. Come on.
I did put it up, but let me oops, you don't need to see. Let's see.
Do the cocktail. Let's find out what everybody else is drinking.
Yeah.
It could be moose milk.
I gotta go share.
I'm told that Bruce drinks moose milk, so Wow. Yes, I know, Rob Barnes. Yes, my dogs won't shut up today. I don't know why. They just
there. Hopefully they're seeing that. So there it is, the Red Dwarf, peach schnapps, white rum, creme de cassis. I know I've never been able to find that locally. If anybody has, let me know. I just use grenadine and lemon juice and orange juice, and that's pretty much it over crushed ice. Pretty simple, but that is on the webpage if you want. I won't leave it up any longer than it needs to be. Because
Dave has a point. So I'm having it's either a grenadine fizz, or sometimes people call it a dirty Shirley Temple. It's basically vodka and grenadine and soda It is also very sweet. It is pure sugar. I can just feel it coursing through my veins.
Right. Yeah, no, I'm just a pretty lame cocktail. So, but it is in the tiki glass, which is very key.
Tiki glass. Yeah,
you have to have a tiki mug.
I should have like a fruit and an umbrella and some things, but I don't.
Right. So
anyway, I will share. Wait, hang on. I will share with everybody that I did make curry tonight in honor. It's not. That's
right. I mean, you got to have a chicken vindaloo. How could you not have?
Not a proper vindaloo, but it is a good curry. I love curry, so.
I will admit,
Red Dwarf.
First time I watched the show and they kept talking about chicken vindaloo, and I had no idea what chicken vindaloo. I had to look it up.
Yeah.
What's chicken? Oh, somebody's trying to call me now.
Of course they are, because we're in the middle of a live broadcast.
Oh, it's a stupid Senator Custer thing. She just, anyway, you don't need to know about
that. All right, so let's get back where we were. We were talking about the writing. So Rob and Doug, Grant Naylor.
Dave Lafredo joined us. Hey, Dave.
Dave's there, yep. So
Eloc just joined.
Oh, hi, Steve. So they were super, super clever. Yes, you are absolutely right, Rizzo. They were told no science fiction. They were told science fiction isn't popular, which is hilarious. They can't land on any planets. No monsters, no aliens. Oh, and Rimmer's a hologram. He can't touch anything.
Right.
So, in true Red Dwarf fashion, they pretty much broke all those rules like right off the bat. But B, what they decided was, all right, you guys, we can't look out. Like we can't look out into the universe. So what are we going to do? We're going to look in at ourselves. And so what they ended up getting was a bunch of episodes that were kind of like psychoanalysis. So there's stuff like Terraform, The Inquisitor, Justice, Parallel Universe is a good one. The Rimmer World one, where they're like analyzing the characters for who they are,
right.
Which was actually super clever.
Yeah.
And their writing, so their writing actually obeys the rule of funny. The rule of funny states that any violation of continuity, logic, or physics is completely permissible if it gets a laugh.
Sure.
The example of the rule of funny is when the Roadrunner runs and he runs off the cliff and then he's in midair and he's still running. That's violating the rule of physics. Sure. But it's funny, right?
Yeah, no, I get that.
All the time.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it there was a thing too that they decided there was a conscious decision to make, or of course the early episodes when they had the rest of the crew, that the captain was an American. I guess the way he puts it was he was the only American that was like in Britain at the time that wasn't working. So it's like he pretty much got the job, So I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah. So they. Yeah. Okay. So anyway,
sorry, I didn't mean to derail you. I just popped into my head that.
No, you didn't derail me. It's fine. It's all good. It's all good. So the rule of funny, it can violate continuity. That is the show's like number one, like, oh my God, it violates continuity left, right, and center. There are so many plot holes. You can nitpick this thing to death. They for the example, one of my favorite episodes is DNA, where Crichton becomes like human. At the end of it, they've left Lister tiny, Crichton's still human. Like they just leave stuff at the end, and then the next show.
Yeah.
Back again.
Yeah. Steve Peel, like what are they talking about? Red Dwarf. You told me you never saw it, so Steve, you don't know what we're talking about. But just enjoy our company.
Everyone take a second to type a little bit. Everyone take a second to type a little. Who knows Red Dwarf and who has seen Red Dwarf and who is not familiar with it at all? Is there anyone?
I just want to say all the people on the webpage that were like bugging us to do Red Dwarf are not here.
Yeah, where's Rob Morrow?
Rob Morrow and Kent and all these people that said, "Oh yeah, there's Kent."
There's Kent.
Kent's there. Hey Kent, I must have.
David, you've never seen it. Oh my God.
Yeah. So
Roy's never seen it.
Yeah, Roy did tell me he never saw it.
Red Dwarf.
Yeah. It was in the 90s. I guess people stopped watching. Some people like in 1979 they just stopped watching.
How dare you have lives? How very dare you have lives? Red Dwarf is one of those things that you'll catch it on TV sometimes and they'll like run it in a marathon. And so you can get, and because each season, they're only half-hour episodes, and each season only has 6 episodes.
Right, they're
so
short.
you can like shotgun a couple seasons like in an
You
afternoon.
could do the whole thing in no time if
Rob's
you really
seen
wanted
it.
to. If you can
Tina
sit
hasn't
through
seen
it.
it. Hi,
I
Tina.
don't know if I don't know if I could take hours and hours and hours and hours of Red Dwarf back to back, but
well, if you're gonna shotgun it, just shotgun seasons 1 through 6. Dump 7, dump 8, dump 9.
Well, it's interesting because what was it? It went up to about 99, 2000.
Oh, they just dropped. Yeah, the new movie
And then they went off for
April
like
9th,
so
yeah.
it was. It came back on Dave TV in 09 and did like a season, like a 3 episode or 4 episode season or something like that. And then they came back in like 2016 and it was like all over the place. But
yeah, they took like a 10-year hiatus.
Yeah, so it's interesting. One of the episodes I thought, which was kind of odd for them when they're doing the time traveling, I think it was in season 6, I think. And they go back and they accidentally stop Kennedy's assassination, and then they try to make it right, and then it got weird because then it's like they got Kennedy. Spoiler alert!
Oh no, we're on the 4th
they got
floor.
Kennedy to actually end up be the second shooter of the grassy knoll.
Yeah.
And it was
what the actual? Yeah, they did that. They looped around a lot. They did that a bunch of stuff. So
yeah,
they did that kind of stuff. And the other thing they did a ton of, like their most used special effect was the split screen. Every one of those actors played multiple variations of their character.
Oh yeah.
Like over and over and over again. But it kind of worked for them. Like it was their thing. It kind of worked. Yeah. But back to the continuity stuff. Robert Grant, one of the creators, did not care. Like he just flat out didn't care. He's like, yeah, leave it hang. We don't care. And he would say, well, hopefully we're going to leave it hang, but hopefully it's either promising enough or vague enough. And promising enough meaning maybe we could circle back later, but maybe not. Because they weren't, it's not like Babylon we talked about last week that he had 5 seasons written out ahead of time.
There's no story arc.
By the seat of their pants. Yeah, no, there's no story arc. They were flying by the seat of their pants in more ways than one. It did bother Doug Naylor a little bit. And at the beginning of season 3, there's this crawl. There's like this Star Wars style crawl that wraps up a whole bunch of loose ends from the first 2 seasons. But it's so long and big, it has to fly by so fast that you actually can't read it. I do have a link to it if anybody is curious to see it. Let me pull that and I will paste it for you so you guys can read what it says.
Put it in the comments, I guess. What was the other thing I was gonna? It was damn, I lost my train of thought on. It was off to the Kennedy thing, but I forgot where I was going with
continuity. Was a mess.
Continuity. Well, the continuity thing that really you got to remember that, especially 80s, 90s. I mean, sitcoms, they didn't care about that. I mean, nobody was doing. You know what I'm saying? It was a silly show, so nobody give a crap. It was like a cartoon. You know what I'm saying? One day the Roadrunners flattens the coyotes back the next day. Nobody's thought, well, how did they get better? It's just
it was very.
You have to just get past that
analogy. It was very much a cartoon.
I think us watching it in our in current day, we watched the show and you're like, yeah, what the hell just happened? Why are they back here? What happened? I think we analyze that more than we probably did 20 years, 30 years ago. That we just, because now we're so used to story arcs in television shows, even comedies.
Yeah.
So I think that's part of why we question it. One of the oddest things was at the beginning of season 6, I think, or 5, when they all of a sudden they're not on Red Dwarf anymore.
Yeah, suddenly they're on the Starbug.
What happened? They don't really explain it. I guess later they do, which apparently I haven't caught up there yet.
They do, yeah. They do kind of quasi-explain it, sort of.
They just say they're chasing it around.
Else. It's all loosey-goosey. But here's the thing, is what had happened is in season, let me get the season list, Angels and Demons. Which season was that?
I saw that one, so it must have been 4 or 5. Okay.
So in season 5, Angels and Demons, they did a couple stupid things. They broke their one and only model of the actual Red Dwarf. Broke it or blew it up. And whatever that plot story was, they blew up their sets too. They destroyed their sets. Like the sets were gone. So they had to move the show into the Starbug, which was weird and bizarre because the name of the show is the Red Dwarf, not the Starbug. And they spent 2 seasons off the dwarf. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Well, the funny thing is the bug also was like the TARDIS because it kept getting every season they were on it kept getting bigger and bigger. Like
Yes,
it's
the
like it
bugs.
started out like it just had the cockpit and like a back engine room and like that was it. And then like by like into season 7, it's got like crew quarters and a galley.
And there's stairs going up and everything on the inside looked like this industrial, both the dwarf and the Starbucks, everything looked like this industrial thing. It's where they used to film.
Yeah, it's just funny because it's like it just kept expanding to whatever they needed to make it work, and it was, it was kind of a crazy thing.
Yeah.
But
yeah, Bruce has the specific plot point. They were rebuilt by the dwarf, the red. Crichton's nanobots stole or destroyed the dwarf. I'm not sure which, and then it was all rebuilt. Which, including the weird thing is, it was all rebuilt, including the human crew. So suddenly you had Captain Hollister back. You had human Rimmer back. Like everyone was back, which was just suddenly it was populated again, which was kind of weird. It was cool to see. I really, really enjoyed Mac McDonald, who plays Captain Hollister. I really like him, but everybody else, it was like, what is happening? Why are all these people here?
Well, you think about it. I mean, talk about social distancing. Here's a show about social distancing. Where you basically have the 4 guys, or, technically 2 of them are not even alive, but living on a ship, middle of nowhere, never, have no other interaction than the 4 of them. So, it's kind of funny. Well,
you're all alone, more or less, because Crichton's not human. Rimmer is ostensibly not human, and Cat's not human. So
Cat's not human. I really did like the episode where they go down to they find the whole cat, or what's left of the cat population, and then they end up just leaving.
Yeah,
so I thought that was a good episode.
Like the cat priest.
There was like a whole cat god and everything, and there was like this whole cat thing going on down there.
Yeah, because you had to figure over the 3 million years that Lister was in stasis and the cats evolved, like they would have had an entire cat colony or cat civilization, like populating the ship.
With the way the cat is a little stereotypical, and I think even the actor that played him was concerned that it might be considered racist, that character, because he's kind of this stereotypical almost, but I wonder would they do it the same if they were making it today?
Well, I don't know the answer to that, but I can tell you about the American pilots that they tried.
Oh, please tell us about the American.
They sucked. So, okay, trivia question. Everybody get your fingers ready to start typing. I bet a lot of you already know this answer. There were 2 American pilots, and Robert Llewellyn, who plays Crichton, came from both of them. The first one had a Broadway star named Hinton Battle playing the cat. And Danny John Jules, who played Cat over in Britain, was really impressed and like, oh my God, it's Hinton Battle, because that was like one of his idols. But that flopped. So they're like, okay, we're gonna try it again. So they recast Cat. This time they used a Star Trek actor. Who was it? Who played Cat in the second American pilot? Start typing now. I bet you guys know. Well, they're all typing. So this show, I don't know how this show ever got off the ground, because scripts were often late or non-existent. In the Out of Time episode, the script was so late, they had to shoot the entire show on teleprompters. Like there were teleprompters hidden all over the set. So they're in the Starbug looking at a screen that was ostensibly a planet, and they're talking about the planet, and they were actually reading off of teleprompters.
Rob, if I can interrupt, Rob Barnes got it.
Rob Barnes got it. Yes, it was our own Terry Farrell. And they made her up to look more like a cat, like the movie Cat's cat, which, But if you guys have any interest in either of those US pilots, they are both on YouTube. You can watch them. Just search like Red Dwarf US pilot or whatever. They're both there. It's really lousy quality, but they are both there.
Awesome
sauce. So let's talk about, what do you want to talk about? You want to talk about like the Red Dwarf itself as a ship, or do you want to talk about like what was going on their first season? Like what is kind of weird, messed up situation they were in their first season?
Pick one. I mean, the ship itself, I guess, well, like we were talking about earlier, they built it and then they never built the underside of it.
No, they didn't.
They had to go back to get the shot, because originally the shot they wanted, in the beginning of the original series, they had the close up of we assume it's Lister or something painting the F in Red Dwarf, and then it was supposed to kind of, they wanted it to be one long shot to kind of pull out, and show you that this ship is like 5 miles long.
Yes.
But they realized that the technology, they could do it today, CGI, but they couldn't do it. But then they did that long kind of shot where it kind of runs along, but they had to finish the bottom. And if you have, that's why the red doesn't match.
Yes, if you look at it carefully in the opening shot, the top color red, then it curves around, and the bottom color red, two different color reds. Because
Roy's asking if it was a big ship. It was like 5 miles long. It actually was built around, or it had an asteroid jammed.
Yeah, it's 5 miles
in the middle
long.
of it because it was a mining ship. So it was mining this asteroid. So that's how they got like millions of years of resources.
Of fuel, the other way they got fuel. So in the front of the dwarf was their ram scoop.
Right, it was a ram scoop.
Ham scoop.
It was like a big
hexagonal basket. So the ram scoop is a real theoretical idea.
Yep.
So trivia, everyone start typing. What is a ram scoop? What does it scoop, and what does it use it for? And the silence is deafening.
I don't know. Space junk. I don't even know the answer to that, honestly. Whatever it collects.
Well, I think it's theoretical, so I think it could go either way. Is anybody answering? I'm looking at my notes here.
They're still talking about the size of it.
Oh, yeah. You guys want to know? Yeah, it's 5 miles long, and it was a
Boussard ham scoop.
Ram.
That's like Boussard Collectors is what it used to be called on Star Trek. We have to get Star Trek somewhere. Every show has to come around to Star Trek.
All roads lead to Star Trek. Yeah, Bruce got it. David got it.
So yeah, it was the Boussard Collectors were the Star Trek version. Nobody knows. I don't know what. Well, so what was it used for? What were they?
They're absolutely right. Bruce and Dave both got it. It collects hydrogen.
Oh, hydrogen.
And it would use it as fuel. It could theoretically collect small debris to mine, but whatever.
Rob Barnes, didn't the elevator take hours to reach lower? I think there was something where it would take a long time or something.
Yeah, they mentioned
it was so massive.
Thousands of decks or something.
Right, and at one point, Lister had that little go-kart where he would like cruise around.
Yeah, and he was driving around in the go-kart.
He would and that thing was they kit bashed that out of some other parts like to make that thing. It really did actually go. They said it was like a top speed of like 15 miles an hour, but they figured, in the hallways it looked like it was going really fast. And they said he got pretty good at taking the corners different, so it looked like he was going around different, even though it was like just like Star Trek, it was the same corner every single time.
Just a little.
They just shot it from a different angle.
Yeah. So if you scroll back a bit, Bruce is saying Queeg is the first great episode. Yeah, I completely agree with that. It's on my top 10 favorites. Queeg.
Synopsis. I know I've seen it, but I don't remember it.
Queeg is the one where Holly basically plays a practical joke on them. And the plot is insanely simple. It's a quintessential bottle show, and the plot is insanely simple. It's Holly pretends to be the battle computer. Like Holly's the regular computer, and then Queeg is the battle computer. And you talk about
a bottle. Weren't like the first 3 seasons like bottle? I mean, they never left the ship in the first 3 seasons. I mean, there wasn't any. I don't know. Well, no. When did Crichton come in? Because they had to go get him off that.
Crichton. Well, we see him in season 2, and I don't think we see him again until season 3.
Okay. So this is the first season was a bottle episode.
Yeah, the whole first season. So the first season, I don't know how they got going. The first season, they had to go across the street to the pub to get people to come watch the show. They had no money. Actually, I'll tell you what they did with their money. So they built the Red Dwarf, the actual model. Then they built the Scudders. So you remember the Scudders, or those little things?
Yeah, the things. They always remind me of Day of the Triffids.
Oh yeah, they are kind of a little bit like that.
Who remembers that movie, Day of the Triffids? You scared the crap out of me as a kid. I don't know why.
So they put on the internet. I don't know if this is true, but the money for the pilot was like $250,000 pounds. I almost said dollars, but 1,000 pounds. The Scudders, for reasons that I don't completely understand, have been quoted at costing 35,000 pounds each. You have 250,000 pounds, and you just spent 70,000 pounds on little robots that don't work that good.
They broke down a lot.
They broke all the time. They crashed into things. They didn't grip.
Yeah.
And all the money you have left over has to go to cast, crew, costumes, makeup.
They said something like, it's too bad they didn't have those, or like the Robot Wars wasn't a thing. The Scudders would have been completely different.
Oh my God. Yeah, everyone raise your hand. Who watched Junkyard Wars because of Robert Llewellyn?
Yeah.
So they were doing that. They had to grab people from across the street to watch it. Cast members openly admit to being hungover while filming.
That was obvious.
Or worse.
Or worse.
And even the cast, like, so the pilot in that first season, sometimes they had all the people there because sometimes they were showing a flashback to when the ship was populated, and then sometimes it was just the three of them or four of them with Polly. And even the cast worried, like when everyone else left, when all the extras left and it was just them, they worried. They were like, this isn't gonna fly. But they would do things like later on in the series, they sent the production assistant out to scout a location, and it had it for a moon. And she finds this, we would call it a landfill. I don't know what they call it in Britain, but it was like garbage they had been piling up garbage and they burned it. And then they put soil on top. And what happened was the garbage was burning out. So the soil was kind of glowing, like it was like glowing ground. And they were so excited. They were like, oh, this is perfect. This is perfect. This is going to be the moon. The episode was Thanks for the Memory. So they booked this garbage dump or whatever it was, and they're going to film there. And they're so excited because it's going to glow. And they get there like 2 weeks later and the fire's gone out. And they're basically just standing in garbage. And she said the smell was horrific, but they hadn't booked anywhere else, so they had to do it. Yeah. And then in another scene in Future Echoes, they had booked the actress to play Kochansky. You see her a couple times, and then you see her standing in the doorway with Lister, and she's got like this wide brim hat on, and she's looking down a lot, and it's just like a quick shot of her. It's because it's not the same actress. It's that same production assistant. They would just grab whoever off the crew and say, here, put on a costume, stand here, and let's do this.
That Future Echoes episode, they were saying that was one of the most difficult, challenging as actors to do, because they had to do the scenes basically twice in exactly the same way, without the reaction. Like, like normally, like if you're doing a scene and I say something, then the other actor says something and you kind of react to that, but you had to kind of give your lines exactly the same without getting that response back. They said it was more than one of their challenging episodes, because they were basically talking to nobody.
Yeah, exactly. But they mastered it because they went on to use the split screen or to use multiple versions of themselves, like in so many different episodes. So many different episodes.
So what other episodes? Let's see. What do we got? Anything going on here?
Looking at my notes. That cast was abused. That cast had crap thrown at them, crap dumped on them.
Well, was it the the actor that played Lister? I guess there was a story too where he would show up late all the time. And Charles. The director goes out there and like grabbed him by the shirt and like tore his shirt off, like when he grabbed, like to say like, like, what are you're late, and when he grabbed him, his whole shirt tore off.
His whole shirt came off.
So that kind of diffused the whole situation. He's sitting there bare chested and I have his t-shirt in my hand.
Craig Charles had some substance abuse issues, but he seems to have kind of gotten it. But here's the thing, is so they're shooting overnight in a quarry and it's like really cold out. And so catering, in their infinite wisdom, brought them coffee and hot chocolate with like brandy and whiskey. So they're all out there in a quarry just drinking.
Rob, I miss the toaster too, Rob. I miss Talkie Toaster. I thought that was a good character.
I
thought that was a good character that didn't make it. So talk to me about why they changed Holly from a man to a woman.
Oh, Norman Lovett. Norman Lovett just maybe got a little, I don't know how to say it. He's the one, he pushed, like he was just gonna be a voiceover. Right. And he pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed and said, no, they gotta see my face. They should see my face. They should see my face. And they relented and it worked. So flash forward a couple of seasons and he said, I don't want to come to rehearsals anymore, because he was also doing some other show, I don't know where. like in Britain, they'll film like in Scotland and in London at the same time because it's so geographically close. So he's doing some other show and he's like, I want to go do my other show all week long and not come to rehearsals and then just come for the taping on Thursdays and Fridays. And the producers were like, no, because we need you here because we change things all the time. We change the script, we bounce stuff off you, we try multiple lines. We want you to be here to do that work. Sure. And he was like, no, and he really thought, Norman Lovett really thought they'd be like, okay, sure, whatever you want, and they did.
And that was another thing that they just changed from season to season without, I mean, that female Holly did show up in the alternate, there was like an alternate universe one.
Yeah.
But then we just, all of a sudden, she's just there.
Yeah, she's just there.
As the thing, again, typical continuity.
The show with no continuity. Yeah. So. Yeah, it was fun. It rolled. Hattie Hayridge had been described. So Norman was a stand-up comic in Britain, and Hattie was a stand-up comic in Britain, and Hattie had been described as the female Norman of it. So I guess they both had the same kind of deadpan, dry. Like they had that Marvin the Paranoid Android permanently depressed delivery. You know what I mean?
It worked. I mean, you didn't really miss him. So I guess,
No, you didn't miss him at all.
Just, it worked. It just, okay, now she's female or now it's female Holly and we go with that.
Yeah. They just roll with it. Like whatever.
Bruce says John Kerrigan, our Star Trek friend there, was on the show. I did not know that.
Was he really? I must know when there immediately.
In a later series.
Oh, a later series, yeah. Something else. Was it British Empire?
Oh, it wasn't in Red Dwarf. I get it. In a different TV series. I don't know. Do you know what that is?
No, I have no idea. Bruce, when you say series, do you mean the British word for season or an actual different TV show? Because in the Yanks say series for shows. The Brits say series for season.
See, it's not only entertaining, it's educational.
It's educational. So
we educate and entertain.
They're inexpensive ways. So they would just like use whatever costumes were laying around from other shows, whatever bits of prosthetics or makeup or whatever was laying around from other shows. And they kind of did that always, like, which kind of reminds me of Star Trek in a way. Like Star Trek.
Let's say that's not a new concept. I mean, science fiction's been reusing stuff. I mean, Mork from Ork's outfit was a combination of stuff from Star Trek and you remember and I think a Twilight Zone episode or something like that. There was like a whole combination of stuff they threw together to make his outfit.
I don't remember that part. I do know that like it never gets any better. Like for these guys, they're at Leavesden Studios in like 1998-ish, and they're out in the lot with a flying saucer on a piece of fishing wire, and they're like floating around and trying to film it and get the angle. And like they look over across the lot, and here comes the entire crew from Star Wars: The Phantom Menace, like walking over and like staring at them. And they're like, no, it's supposed to look like that. And the Star Wars people are like, okay.
Like Ed Wood was the master of this flying saucer.
Exactly. That's exactly what they're doing. Like and Ed Wood like hanging on a string.
Yeah. Oh, God. Worst movie ever made, Plan 9 from Outer Space. It's so bad.
So trivia question. I bet you all know this because it's crazy easy. What language are all the signs on? Well, it's in English and another language. What language are all the signs on the Red Dwarf in?
Oh, I do not know.
You do not know? No one's typing. No one's writing.
There's a delay. You got to give them a little bit of it.
That's true.
10, 20, 30 second delay.
That's true.
So we got to give them.
See. And while we're at it, we'll do a bunch of trivia all in a row. So the first one was what language?
Me up, by the way, on the Mork and Mindy thing.
The Mork from Ork thing about the costume?
Yep.
All I remember is the suspender, so. Okay, trivia.
Colonel Green, actually, Roy. It wasn't the general from Savage Curtain. He was Colonel Green, so he was technically Colonel.
Okay, what other vehicles did the dwarf have on it?
Well, the space bug. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not supposed to answer.
Yeah, you're not supposed to answer.
What are the vehicles?
What other vehicles did the dwarf have? And here's another one. If none of those are up your alley, here's an easy one.
And I'll manage the questions because
Okay.
like I said, there's like a 30-second delay.
Okay. And then here's an easy peasy one. So far we got what language, what vehicles. They're all Googling right now. There's no delay. They're all
That's
Googling.
all right. It's Google. You don't win anything for getting it right.
There's no winning to be right. I send you my drink. All right.
Starbug, yeah.
Yes. What's the name of their gun? That long thing that they ran around with that was plastic, all like kind of crazy glued together, painted gray. What is the name of that? Looking at the answers.
They're still answering the question about the so Bruce said Starbug or Steve Foley.
Steve Foley got Starbug.
Blue Midget. I don't know what's Blue Midget.
Blue Midget is the Winnebago looking one.
I don't remember that one.
They only used it like 3 times. Oh, Rob doesn't Google. Okay.
Rob's saying he doesn't Google. Well, that's a personal issue that we don't need to know about.
How do you research, Rob?
You are a HIPAA compliant show. So.
We try to be.
So let's see. What was the other question? All right.
What
was the gun called? We haven't gotten an answer on the gun yet.
Oh, Bruce got it. Bruce got it.
Bruce got it?
Bruce got the language. Bruce got 2 of the 4. I'm looking for 4 vehicles.
What was the language? I missed it.
It's Esperanto.
What the heck is Esperanto?
Okay. Esperanto. Hey, Dan Davidson's here. Hi, Dan. Esperanto is a real fictional real is a real language. It's real. It was created by a Polish ophthalmologist. So it is made up, but it was meant to be a lingua franca, and it never caught on and it never took off. English has caught on to become the lingua franca. So.
Okay, we'll go with that.
Did we get the name of the gun? The gun that they?
I have not seen an answer for the gun yet. I've not seen. Nope, no gun.
All right, let me give the answers.
Just give us the game.
I'll give you the answers. So Bruce had 2 of them: Starbug and Blue Midget.
Yeah.
They also had a white midget and a white giant. Never seen, never used, just mentioned. Whatever. The gun was called a bazookoid. They used those tons of times. They were always.
Yeah, I know what you're talking. Did kind of a sort of a cocking thing. It would like, I don't know. Yep, bazookoid.
Right, let's see. And here's my last trivia question. I have others, but they're boring. So here's my last one.
There you go. Rob Barnes got a delayed reaction bazookoid.
Oh, did he? He got bazookoid. Did you Google, Rob?
He says he doesn't Google. He just knows things.
Yes, Dennis. William Shatner did film an entire movie in Esperanto, the language that never took off. Okay, last trivia question. What was the name? The name of Lister's cat, the one he was hiding in the ship's hull. What was the name of that cat that eventually had kittens and they became Felix sapien, which is the cat's race, the cat's people, I guess. I don't know. The cat's cats. Yeah.
So yeah, wait, Roy has trivia. William Shatner did a movie in 1965, which the entire movie was spoken
in Esperanto. Incubus. In Esperanto, not Incubus.
Wow.
Might have been named
Frankenstein. Is that the name of the cat?
Yes, Steve Foley got it. It is Frankenstein. Oh, and Rob Barnes got it. All right. So what? Okay, so
that's right, because he says something like, I remember them saying something like they always make the mistake of that it's not the monster. That's not the name of the monster. That's the name of the scientist that created the monster.
Yeah. It's the name of the scientist, not the monster.
Remember that now.
Okay, so what moments, and you guys can all start typing at this too, and I've got some funny favorite moments from this show. What are your favorite moments or episodes? Like, what do you like best? And can I just tell you, like, some of mine, like, I love in Polymorph, the polymorph, it changes into different things, and it changes into these red shorts that Lister's wearing, and then they start shrinking, and so Lister's laying on the floor this way, and Crichton's this way, and like, and so Rimmer walks in from behind, and of course it looks completely like, looks very sketchy, and he's like, "You'll bonk anything," and he turns around and walks out. It's just so funny, like physical humor. But then like some of the language stuff, like when Crichton became human in the episode DNA. Oh my God, that was so funny. He's like going, "So what do you humans do? Do you have a zoom function in your eyes?" And Lister's like, "No." And he's like, "Well, what do you do if you want to like bring something into small and just sharp focus?" And Lister's like, "We move our heads closer." And so he's going like this. And then he's talking about just play a clip of this. Just go find DNA and Crichton becomes human and watch the whole clip. It is so funny.
One of the stupid things that made me laugh, I think I was watching it today because I'm on the season 7 was the where he's in the virtual reality in the medieval times, and he wants to sleep with the princess.
The king in the medieval times was someone you know and love from a movie we both love. Who was it?
I didn't recognize him.
You, as soon as I say it, you'll go back and watch and go, "Oh my God, it was Brian Cox who played."
Oh yes, I did recognize him. That's right, I did recognize him. Right. No,
oh my God, it's the chief.
I did. I forgot. I had forgotten. But he played Brian Cox. Yes, the chief from Trooper. Well, he's been in a million things. I mean, he's a great.
Brian Cox is in everything.
Yeah, he's a great actor.
Everything.
And he clearly doesn't care, like what.
No. He doesn't, which is what makes him so awesome.
Like he'll do like something like, if you ever saw one of the better HBO shows with Deadwood, he was in that.
Oh yeah, Deadwood, yeah.
He was great in that, his character. So he
was great in Super Troopers. He's great in everything he does.
Pistol with the next man that says shenanigans. I mean,
hey, what's that restaurant you like with all the goofy shit in the walls?
Yeah, but anyway, getting back to that episode, what made me laugh out loud, it was so stupid. Because he finally gets the princess, because he's using these computer cheat codes, and he gets into the tent, and the tent's just, like they were saying,
the whole tent's
rocking. The whole tent's just going back and forth. And I don't know why that made me
just. They do that to a car too. They have him in a car, and the car's rocking, and they said that was actually Craig Charles in the car rocking the car. What episode? That was the same episode, right?
Speaking, I don't know. But speaking of the car, there was the episode. What the heck was it? It was just not too many before that. Oh, it was the with the depression squid or something, and they made them think Lister think that he was really like a fascist and everything. They were like back in like 20th century Earth or something. And I noticed when they get in the car and they're pretending like they think they're in the car, he's on the left side of the car.
Yeah.
Like he's driving an American car, and I'm like, wait a minute, this is a British show. Why is he on the left side of the car? He should be on the right side of the car.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. He totally should. But maybe they were thinking they would do it the way they drove Starbucks. I don't know. That's a really good catch. That's a really good catch. It was completely.
I noticed it. Well, I noticed too that, of course, that was an American car that they were getting into. I think it was like a Lincoln or something, an older Lincoln that they were getting into.
Oh yeah, maybe.
That's why they were just trying to keep continuity. But really, why would they have? It was a British show. Why would they have an American car with a left?
Did you watch an episode called Legion where they go and there's an alien in a
Yeah. That's how he got the hard light.
Yeah, and then he becomes hard light. Yeah, exactly. So this is lowbrow. This is slapstick, but like first the chopsticks. The spinning chopsticks.
The chopsticks were kind of funny.
Trying to eat. And then Crichton decides he needs to knock everyone out to defeat Legion, so he knocks out Lister, he knocks out Cat, and then he's trying to knock out Rimmer.
Yeah, you can't knock out Rimmer.
And then Rimmer's like bonking himself on the head on the wall, and Rimmer would go bonking, Crichton would go bonking, Rimmer would go bonking, Crichton would go bonking. Like that kind of stuff just has me giggling, and it's not intelligent. It's not an intellectual thing.
It's slapstick.
It's just slapstick. Yeah.
Back to reality. Is that your favorite episode there?
No, my favorite episode is DNA.
Yeah.
One with Crichton, which I can't even repeat. He's talking about his penis. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. It's hilarious.
Yes,
go watch it.
Rob Barnes. Yeah, I don't know if I have a favorite one. Like I said, I thought the Kennedy assassination one, I thought it was
just weird,
out of place.
Very out of place.
Weird.
Yeah, when they went clunk, they really went clunk. And like all of season 9 goes clunk really bad. Season 9, for those of you who've not seen it, season 9, it's only 3 episodes. And basically the premise is they go back to Earth and find out that they're fictional characters on a TV show. And it was supposed to be very meta.
And they have to pitch. Yeah, they have to pitch. I've heard of it. They have to pitch themselves to keep their show
Pitch
on.
themselves to stay alive.
Clearly, that was like the Spock's brain of.
It was the Spock's brain of
Red Dwarf.
Red Dwarf. And then fans rejoiced. Season 10 came and they were back to their old shenanigans, and fans, they were back to jokes like Kat, like people going, like Rimmer, like Crichton going, they've taken Rimmer, and Kat going, well, let's go before they bring him back, and like those kinds of jokes. Or Kat would be like, 100% successful mission, and Crichton would go, sir, we've lost Mr. Rimmer, and Kat would be like, 100% successful mission, like all that kind of stuff.
I liked it too when it was the virtual reality one where they wake up and they think that was that same one where they with the depression squid. I don't know what it called it, but the cat has like, he's got like this big bridge teeth, like
Dwayne
the pudding bowl haircut. I don't know why I thought that was really funny, because it was just like, I don't know, it was just stupid, but it was. It's just
little lines like, "Step up to red alert. Are you absolutely sure it does mean changing the bulb?"
That one was funny. That was a laugh out loud moment.
That was a laugh out loud moment.
Here's shows you it was funny. I was watching it. My wife was in the room, and she laughed just when he said that, because it does require changing the bulb, sir.
It does require changing the bulb. And then goofy little things like, since I've been rewatching, I've had that stupid. I don't know if you've seen this episode, but. Arnie, 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 Rimmer, da da da. Like that song has been in my head and I can't get it out. From Rimmer World or whatever. I don't know what that was.
So what is everybody's? I guess we're getting some.
We're getting some answers.
Yeah, back to reality.
Death Machine. Bruce says back to reality.
Back to that one with the squid. Yeah, that's where they find the ship on the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah, they find the ship on the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah. But that's what. But what is everybody else's favorite episodes as far as?
Was Sirens the episode? You guys are all typing. Was that later in season 10 or 11? Who remembers?
Sirens is right when they find the time travel drive or whatever.
I can't remember. Who saw the episode where Lister is kissing this drop dead gorgeous blonde, but she's like a shapeshifter or something, and so he's kissing her and she's blonde, and then it shifts and it looks exactly like a stag beetle or something.
That's
beetle.
That's Sirens.
Sirens. My god.
Yeah, that's Sirens. That one's kind of funny. He knows it's that bug thing, but he's so horny he can't resist.
Yeah, he's just after the blonde. Yeah, or his whole wedding to the Gelf. To the big ape creature. That was funny. Yeah,
that was pretty good. He's like, oh no. This is
anytime Chris Berry does great Crichton impersonations. There's an episode called Siliconia, kind of later on in season 10 or 11 or 12, way later on, and Chris Berry, Rimmer, gets to do Crichton. They all kind of turn into Crichton, and Rimmer's doing Crichton, and he does a spot. Oh, Crichton. So if you guys are interested, especially my Canadian friends, Robert Llewellyn, where did I write the notes? So Robert Llewellyn, well, first he based Crichton on Herman Munster. And there are a lot of Herman Munster jokes, like, I look like Herman Munster's son.
And apparently that was supposed to be a Canadian accent.
Yes, he uses a Canadian accent for Crichton. That's exactly what I was going to say. And he says Canadian accent is a mix of Scottish and American. And I'm like, what? Okay.
Yeah, I'm not hearing that, but okay.
I just hear American. I don't hear Scottish. But
yeah,
I know a lot of people are like, oh, the Canadians have an accent. Unless you're from Newfoundland or something, I don't really.
Yeah, there's definitely a kind of an accent. I mean, depends on. I guess it's regional, like anywhere else. Just like in the United States. I mean, we all don't sound the same.
Yeah.
You can tell somebody from Maine or somebody from Georgia or somebody, So.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We've got super pronounced. Yeah. I guess I'm only familiar with Ontario. And that's it. So it's not a good sampling, not a good sampling number.
What are you saying? Nope to Bruce? The fact that you don't have an accent?
A. Unless you guys say A, then you have an accent.
Hoser. We haven't even addressed their best line of the whole show, which is Schmeghead.
Oh God, yeah, Schmeghead.
We haven't even mentioned
Schmeg
Schmeg.
follows
Nobody
that
even
great
mentioned
great
Schmeg.
tradition like Frack, Frel,
Yeah, it's right
Dren,
up there. Schmeghead is definitely has become a
and Schmeg.
worldwide icon
And
of.
it's alternate. Sometimes it's like it's the F bomb. Sometimes it's shit. Like it depends on what you want to use it for.
Yeah,
Schmeg.
it's universal.
It's universal. Yeah.
So, but
So
yeah,
man, this hour flew by.
it's already
We're
almost
gonna
8
kind of
o'clock.
start wrapping it up here. Before we go, just want to remind everyone, Roy, being way more ambitious than us, is hosting 2 of these a week. He does his on Fridays and Sundays. And Roy, can you type in the chat what show you're going to be doing this Friday?
It's remembering the shows of the 60s and 70s or something along.
Yeah, it's remembering the sci-fi of the 60s and 70s, but I can't remember specifically which show, because he's been covering a lot of stuff. And then next week on this show, we will have a special guest host, Kent Schmidt, and you guys will be doing one of my favorite
sign
movies.
for that.
Huh?
You're getting ahead of me.
Oh, I am sorry. Well, tell them.
I'm going to. I'm working on it. I got a whole slide and everything.
Oh, whole slide and everything. Oh, we have production value. Oh,
so there it is. Kent, I don't know, is Kent still here? But there you are, Kent. You're getting all kinds of. So we're gonna do The Fifth Element. Lilu Dallas multipass.
Boom. Bada big boom.
Green. So
Lilu Dallas
classic. We're gonna have fun with that one.
Outer Limits. Thank you, Roy.
Yeah, he's gonna do Outer Limits. That's right. And then he just did Lost in Space, which was great, and he needs to do the rest of the series. Only got through season 1, I think. Right, Roy? Gemini Croquettes, right? Dan Fulfredo, that's right.
On Fluston
Paradise. Yeah, I mean that movie. We're not going to go into it too much because we're going to do it all next week. But such a great film from the 1990s.
Super awesome film from the 1990s.
So what else you guys want? We still got a few minutes just to wrap before we wrap this for the night. What other episodes do you guys like? Hey, there's Kent Schmidt. He's still here.
Oh, he's still here, half listening.
Yeah.
Half listening, half not.
He only got season 1 in. Ruby. What is that? Oh, Ruby Rod.
Ruby
Rod. Okay. They want to talk about Fifth Element now. They're done with Fifth.
They're
Red
so
Dwarf.
ready for
Moving
Fifth
on.
Element.
We're moving on.
And I don't blame them. Fifth Element's got some good stuff in it.
Yeah, it really was. It was a good show. I can't wait for next week. Actually, I'm really looking forward to it. So what other, just while we got people online, what other shows or movies you want to see us cover? I had ideas to do like BBC's Hitchhiker's Guide, and what is the one I told you today was a good one? I was gonna Flash Gordon.
Flash Gordon.
80s version. Whatever you guys want to talk about, we'll talk about. I mean, we're getting, if anybody on there is an expert on a particular, because we are not experts on anything. And I'm sure you just don't want to hear us. We got Kent, who, I don't know, is Kent an expert on the Fifth Element? We shall see.
We shall see.
He wants to talk about it. So, but if there's
Roy has asked for V a couple times now.
Does V?
Yeah, the old school V with Robert Englund as Willie. That character's name was Willie.
Yep. They did have a remake of that relatively recently, but
we will probably do Hitchhikers at some point.
Yeah. Hitchhikers. Well, as I just said, we'll do the BBC Hitchhikers. Probably some Doctor Who in there. Aliens.
Well, all the Alien movies, I guess. I mean.
Yeah. Well, not all of them, because really after Aliens, we kind of we tune out.
Or swirly alert. I'm going back through the Hollyhop Drive. Yeah, Bruce remembers. Bruce, man, you should have been the person. You remember all this stuff. Going to Fiji. Yep.
Yeah, we should have had Bruce. Should have been on.
Bruce, man, I could have had the night off. Roy says Aliens.
Had the night off. What else we got? What else, you guys? Come on, you guys keep going in circles now, guys. What else? We got other stuff out there.
Oh, we got 5 homeless. Let me look at my notes.
Who remembers Space Above and Beyond?
I don't. You've mentioned that twice now, and I don't.
It was a good show. I think it only ran like 1 season.
A police officer, strong Jamaican. Yeah, they were all really good mimics. Danny John Jules was a good mimic. He had a couple different accents up his sleeve. Craig Charles, man, but Chris Berry is super talented.
Okay. Chris LaRoche's Classic Outer Limits. Yeah, Roy's doing that.
Yeah, Roy.
We're trying to keep it to 80s, 90s, and aughts, so to speak. Roy's got the 60s and 70s, so
let me look at my notes here. See if
he's doing Outer Limits Friday, so tune in. Definitely going to be a good one. Star Lost. That Dennis.
I am not familiar with that one.
It's familiar, but I'm gonna have to look that one up because I don't remember it. Is that relatively contemporary? It sounds like it might be 70s to me. No, don't know.
Oh, did I tell you guys? Remember Rizzo said that, yeah. So
Star Lost is on Roy's list. There you go.
One last piece of information here. Kochanski. So I don't know if Rizzo's been up to the season, but remember, Chris Berry left to do some other project. So they're like, we still need 4 to balance the characters' personas. And so they brought Kochanski back. She is regarded by fans as the Yoko Ono of Red Dwarf.
That's pretty rough.
She destroyed seasons 7 and 8?
It was 7 because I just started. I'm in the middle of 7, and they just did the episode where they get her from the alternate.
Yeah, they get her back. Yeah,
universe, whatever you want to call it.
Let's see what else. Gunman of the Apocalypse won an International Emmy for Popular Arts. I believe it tied with my other favorite British show, Absolutely Fabulous. Sweetie Darling, Sweetie Darling.
That's another show I just never really embraced.
Oh, no, yeah, no, Ab Fab is not sci-fi. It's an
I like, it's not like, you look at Faulty Towers, which is just funny.
Yeah.
There's a lot of those British comedies. I mean, even if you look at Keeping Up Appearances, was funny.
I remember that, yeah, with Hyacinth.
It's stupid, but it's the same kind of thing. It's just funny. A lot of those British.
But that one, and what was the one where they were in a department store? It's old one.
Are You Being Served?
Are You Being Served? That one's old. Yeah.
If I dig up through my archive of photos, I have a photo of me and the guy. He was kind of the gay guy in the men's department.
Yeah.
I can't think of the guy's name. He came. I used to work for PBS, so we used to get these people because we used to run all those shows and we used to pledge drive them. And they would come on. We would get him in the studio and have him help to try to. And he was the nicest guy.
Was he really? Oh, that's
yeah.
Awesome.
He was so funny because he wanted to like they always wanted to shuffle these people off to the green room, between pledge drives. And he's like, no, I want to be out with the crew and hang out with the crew because we had in our huge steam dock. We had couches and stuff set up during pledge drives, so we all just hang out there between breaks. And in our big studio, we were doing a show called The Swamp Critters of Lost Lagoon, which was created and produced by Bobby Goldsboro. Some of you guys might remember him. He had a hit song, Honey, I think it was, back in the 70s. Look it up. Anyway, super nice guy. He was doing this kid show because it was the 90s and everybody wanted to jump on the Barney bandwagon.
Oh, yeah.
And we were shooting Swamp Critters of Lost. We had this huge 80 by 100 studio with a 20-foot grid turned into a swamp. And it really did look like a swamp. And then we had characters. We had people that were in costumes, and then they had puppets. And so I have pictures. He wanted to see this, so we took him into the studio, turned all the lights on, and he's up on the riverboat. And I got pictures of me and him standing on the riverboat. If I could find them, I don't know where the pictures are. If anybody's really interested, but we are way off Red Dwarf at this point.
Yeah, we've wandered away. But I looked through my notes. I have nothing more to offer you.
Yeah, I'm okay. That's 8:00. Bingo.
It is 8:00. Bing, right on the button.
So, well, folks. Harlan Ellison, we're just trying to catch up on it.
No, Bigfoot and Wild Boy.
Carlos on YouTube, Bigfoot and Wild Boy. Wow, that's obscure, Dave. 1971. Any member 70s is all aim any of these suggestions for shows that are 70s to Roy. This is Roy's area.
Take notes. Start right.
Roy's area. So, but
Rob says X-Files. Yeah, we'll hit up the X-Files.
The X-Files is 90s.
We'll get us some loose and squirrel. It's all good.
Yep. So, all right. So next week, once again, we're going to see Kent with, and Mary Beth will be back, of course, and you get stuck with me all the time. And we're going to do The Fifth Element, and we will see you guys in 1 week. Stay safe. Stay separate.
Cheers, mates. Yep. Stay safe.